Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to make a crochet spiral chain handle with tabs at the end. You see here so that you can sew it onto any project. I am going to use raffia as a fiber because a lot of the projects I design are made from raffia, but this can be made with any fiber that your heart desires. This is a really good stitch. It creates a really bulky, nice, firm handle. It does stretch a little bit, but you can always put a cord through it to secure it on smaller bags. That doesn't really matter though. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, we are going to make a regular slip knot. Tighten it around the hook. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we want our tab to be 4 stitches. In this instance, it can be any size you want, but for our purposes, we're doing 4. So we're going to single crochet into the second loop from the hook, which is right here. And I always crochet when starting something off into the back bump because it gives it a nice clean edge. So let's go ahead and do that. So 4 to the end. So single crochet 1, 2, and it can be kind of finicky going into the back bump, but it's worth it. 3 and 4. That one's stretched out, but we can tighten it. Tighten that there. Okay, so that's our first row. Now we're going to chain 1 and go back across. So single crochet in all 4 of those. So 1, 2, 3, and oh, that one's a little difficult. Raffia does tend to be tough to work with sometimes, but it looks so great that it's worth it. All right, so that's our beginning tab. Now we want to turn this into a loop. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to single crochet it to the first stitch in that row, connecting it together. So go in here and just single crochet as usual. Pull up a loop, single crochet, and then in the next 3 from before, so 1, 2, and 3. And we want our spiral chain to be 7 for this tutorial. So in that chain 3 space, I'm going to single crochet 3. It's 4 plus 3 equals 7. So 1, doesn't need to be in the bumps or anything. It can just be in the chain. So 2, 3. So now we are going to set up our spiral chain stitch, and we want to do that by crocheting into the back only of all of these next 7 stitches. When you crochet the spiral chain, all of the stitches kind of turn inwards, and that gives you a spot to create the stitch. Sorry, I'm just giving myself more raffia. So let's crochet into the back loop only of the next 7 stitches. So 1, and see how it's the back loop only there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're back at the beginning with 7. And now the spiral chain starts. You can already see that these stitches are kind of pushed inwards, and we're going to take advantage of that because the part of the stitch that we want to just do regular single crochets into is this little nub right here. So you can see it there, there, here. And this can be hard to identify because it's not a part of the stitch that is usually used in crochet. It's especially difficult when you're first starting out because it hasn't become totally uniform, and the raffia makes it a little bit more difficult still because it's an irregular width throughout. So give it a moment because once we start going further, it will illuminate this part. But let's just start right now. So we want to crochet into this little C shape, this little half moon right here. And sometimes you kind of have to dig it out from the rest of this chain as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So, oopsie. First row's always tough, but we're just going to pick that up, pull up a loop, and single crochet. And here's that little C shape again right here. So we're just going to pull that up, single crochet. This one's sticking out a little bit more here. And the great thing is you just keep going around in circles, so you don't need to count. You just need to measure and make sure it's the width or the length you want at the end. So see that C shape there and that C shape here. And you just keep going around identifying those. So, and it does get easier because it becomes more uniform. So single crochet, single crochet, going into that. See, that one was especially hidden, so we're just going to pull it out. I tend to use my thumb to really push it onto the hook. Make sure you're not getting two here, as I did just now. Single crochet. This one's really hidden, but you're going to be confused. You're going to go, what part of the stitch is it? The only part that you should be crocheting into is this little C right here. Not that, not that, not that. When in doubt, look for that C. So pick it up there. Single crochet. Another thing you'll notice is that your tail will start to loop around the chain itself and your hand. Sometimes I just safety pin that up. Okay, so let's just, oopsie, pull through both. Okay. So I'm just going to do this for a bit really slowly so that you can really take a look. So that's the C, that's a C. They're becoming more apparent now because we're a little bit further into it. Becomes quite therapeutic after a while. Not at first, though. So this, my friends, is the spiral chain. And you just work until it's the length you want for your project. I'm going to keep going for a little bit, and then I will meet you back to do the end tab, which is definitely the easiest part of it, so fear not. So I have made my handle a little bit longer, and I'm ready to make the end tab, which will just mimic the beginning tab. So if you look here, you can see that this really is just a group of single crochet stitches pushed towards the inside. So what we want to do is create a tab that's just made out of normal single crochets. So we're going to find where the normal single crochet would be and single crochet as usual in the next 4 whenever you're ready to start your tab. So 1, see the regular single crochet top there, even though it's pushed to the inside, that's all it is. 2, again, it's there. 3 and 4. And now we just single crochet as usual for the rest of the tab. So chain 1, turn your work, single crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, turn your work, single crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, last stitch, 4. Hooray! There we go. So you can see it's open here, but you're going to stitch it on so that the side that's closed is visible. So now I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving enough to sew on. Just pull it through, and voila! That's my little handle. Hopefully this helped you. Let me know if I can be of any more assistance, but I hope you enjoy making your spiral chain handles.